Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, top of the morning. Today is December the 4th. I think it's 5 games in the NBA for today, so it will be a quicker show today. I actually don't love the slate today, but I always think that there's ways to find value. I think if you don't love the slate, then you just got to dig a little bit deeper. There's always some gold out there hidden. You just got to be able to find it. You don't like the sides, you got to look at the total. You don't like the total, you got to look at the player props. You don't like the player props, you got to find something. First half bet, like you got to find something, not to force it, but there are ways to make some money. So we are going to see if we can do just that, man. Let's jump into it for today. So yesterday ended up with 4 plays. I gave out 3 on the show yesterday. The Orlando Magic stink. Situational spot didn't even matter last night. San Antonio said we can win this game and the next game and all of the games. And Orlando ended up losing the game. That's back-to-back games they didn't cover as big favorites. I only want Orlando if they're a dog or they're getting a super small number. It's just not consistent enough in my opinion. So team total over was a loser. Magic minus the points was a loser. What we cashed on was the 2 player props. The first one was Josh Giddey over his 9.5 assists at plus money. So that brought back a little bit of the money. And then the second play was Kawhi Leonard. As soon as I saw the Atlanta beat writers start to tweet out that that Jalen Johnson was questionable, I was like, hold on, I didn't see that early in the day. Where'd that come from? And the line already looked fishy yesterday. So, he got ruled out, and we jumped on Kawhi over his 5.5 boards, and that was a winner. Sweaty winner. He had 3 in the first quarter, didn't get any in the second quarter. Third quarter didn't really get any, and in the fourth quarter, he grabbed a couple more. And Atlanta's a bottom 10 rebounding team right now without Porzingis, without Jalen Johnson. I thought Kawhi was going to get 10 boards last night and a mega, super win spot, but he didn't. He ended up with 6 though. So 2-2 day yesterday. Hopefully you guys found some ways to make some cash as well. What up, Prolifics? This is good morning, Chris. Atlanta's hot garbage. Clippers needed a win in the worst way yesterday. He says, we really appreciate your insight and your time. Thanks. Appreciate you, Prolific. Appreciate the appreciation, my brother. Locks is in the Magic. They stink too, and Cade. Real Talk says, morning community. I've been looking at the Lakers line since last night. Why can't I press confirm? I love the spot and love the Lakers in the spot. So the line is getting better and better if you want the Lakers. They opened as 4-point favorites yesterday, and the line is flipped all the way to Lakers are getting 2 points now. So we'll talk about that in a second. Locke says, Giddy did get that triple-double, though. He did, and I didn't bet it, but I did bet the assist. Lowe says, good morning, Chris. I hope you're staying away from the Hawks and the Magic for a while. Last night was awful for me. The Hawks, not so much. If the Hawks are getting points, I always tell you. I told you guys yesterday on the show. If the Hawks are getting points, you typically want them. You don't want to lay too many with the Hawks. They're kind of just like the Magic, like just super fragile team. Like one thing is going to give, their offense or their defense. But the number one rule when betting Hawks games, and y'all know this before, unless you're new to sports betting, you never take the Hawks without Jalen Johnson. And when Jalen Johnson was ruled out, that line started to go from 3.5 to 3 to 2.5, 2.5 to 1.5, and I don't know where it closed, but I think it was like 1. So yeah, a lot of money came in on the Clippers. They needed a win in the worst way possible last night, so it made a lot of sense in my opinion. What's up, Justin? What up, PZ? Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Good morning, DJ Props. He says, I got my YouTube year in review, and you are #1 channel. And in my top 1% of viewers, like Nipsey said, that's dedication. Hey, this is dope, bro. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that for sure. And I'm just laughing because I do this. I try to make this content and give out winning plays and just give you guys my thought process on the way that I look at the games. But I was actually listening to Nip. I listened to the whole Victory Lap album yesterday morning when I was working out before the show. So yeah, shout out to Nip, man. Rest in peace, Nip. Donna says, good morning to everyone but the Orlando Magic. I swear I'm still mad about that. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Absolutely not hot garbage, Justin. I'm with you there. They're not hot garbage at all. What's up, Nayeli? Appreciate you for tapping in. She says, Clippers always cash when the line looks weird every time. Missed your live. I hope all is well. Right back at you, Nayeli. Happy holidays to you and the fam, for sure. Good morning, Anthony. He says, let's go Sixers. Let's jump into the games for today, man. So first up, we'll start with JaXon. JaXon had a 1-1 split yesterday. Houston, minus the 15.5. Just in the second half specifically, because I woke up this morning. I didn't watch a lot of the game yesterday. Woke up this morning and watched the second half specifically because they were, I think it was like tied at halftime, and or they were losing by 1 or something like that. And then third quarter started, and Sacramento did get out to a big lead. Even in the third quarter, I think they was up 6. And then Houston said, you know what, man, we got to stop playing around. We could do this all in one quarter. Ended up winning the game by 26 points last night, all in the second half, like later third quarter into the fourth quarter, just smoked the Sacramento Kings. So that was the winner. The loser was on, the loser was on the under yesterday. I think it was the under. You know what? I actually forgot what it was. I know that was the winner though. Let's see. The under 241 was a play. No. It was, I think. Oh, no, it was on the Detroit. That's what it was. I gave you guys two sides yesterday. Detroit minus the 4.5. They lose the game outright in Milwaukee last night. And I thought that was a little funny line. The Bucks had revenge. So 1-1 day for JaXon overall. As far as today's prompt, I wanted to know, I asked JaXon for, I actually can give you guys a lot because I asked JaXon for a lot this morning, but I'm not going to give you guys everything. You got to check JaXon out for yourself. Let's see. So, I asked JaXon for the best spread bet for today. JaXon is going right back to the Pelicans. I'm sorry, right back to the Timberwolves minus the 11.5. It says the Timberwolves are analytically 14.9 points better than the Pelicans. And the Pelicans are severely compromised by injuries, making this 11.5 point line significantly undervalued. Analytical breakdown, the massive efficiency gaps. So the net rating, point differential, and expected wins all go to Minnesota, with them ranking top 10 in each one. The Pelicans are bottom 5 in each one, 28th in net rating, 26th in point differential, and 26th in expected wins as well. What else we got? So the Pelicans 3-19 record is supported by their poor underlying metrics, ranking 26th in expected wins, 28th in net rating. They're consistently one of the worst teams in the league. Situational analysis. So the Pelicans injury report, the Timberwolves are healthy. Conclusion, the Timberwolves are analytically superior by nearly 15 points and are facing a team missing its core talent. Offensive versus defense. I'm not reading all this, but that's one of the looks. I'll give you guys a player prop as well. Let's see. JaXon likes a lot of stuff today, man. Let's go with Maxey. So JaXon likes Maxey over his points and assists. It says that he has a pretty neutral matchup. The Golden State Warriors they rank 18th as far as points plus assists allowed to his position. And then there's Embiid that's doubtful, Paul George is doubtful as well. So usage explosion, it says with Joel Embiid and Paul George both listed as both doubtful, Maxey becomes the undisputed primary scorer and playmaker for the 76ers. His usage rate will skyrocket into the 40s. So the Warriors' defense is middle of the pack against guards, 18th. However, the Warriors are also missing the defensive anchor, Jimmy Butler, who was listed as day-to-day. He hasn't been ruled out, which further softens their perimeter defense. Conclusion, Maxey will have the ball in his hands every possession, facing a depleted defense. His points and assist line is most likely to be crushed today. So that's one. That's all I'm gonna give you guys. It's a lot though. JaXon got a lot of looks today. Promo code in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. Let's jump into the games. First up, we got the Celtics and the Wizards. Game we played in DC. What I wrote in my notes yesterday was, so first we got to start with the injury report. At first I wrote first half over for Boston. Boston team total first half over. And that was, predicated on thinking that they were going to be fully healthy. And then I saw the injury report afterwards, and I can't get there because Jaylen Brown is listed as doubtful. He's suffering with some kind of illness. I'm not sure if it's the illness at all. Boston's coming off back-to-back wins where they, beat the Knicks and took my money the other day. Before that, they had a big win against Cleveland in Cleveland. Took a lot of people money in that spot. They played the Timberwolves really competitively, so they've been winning games. They've been covering spreads. I don't like them in this spot, though. If Jaylen Brown doesn't play, even though this line is going up, this was at 7.5 yesterday. It's all the way up to 9.5 now. We'll see if Jaylen Brown plays or not. I don't like Washington either because they don't have Sarr, which equals no rim protection. Last time they didn't have Sarr, we played team total over for the Pelicans. For the Bucks, and that was an easy cash. But this game is gross because there's no Bilal, there's no Trey Johnson, Corey Kispert out, Alex Sarr is out. I considered Marvin Bagley rebounds at 7.5, just thinking that, Boston's not the greatest rebounding team. He's going to get a lot more minutes without Sarr being out there. He's over in 2 of the 3 games. I think the time that he didn't get there was actually on the hook. So, matter of fact, I'll show you guys that real quick. But here I'm gonna just keep talking while I pull this up. The reason why I can't bet Boston in this spot is because it's a 4th game in 6 nights for Boston. It's also first leg of a back-to-back. They got a prime game tomorrow, like a national television NBA prime TV game, whatever you call it, prime video game tomorrow. They got the Lakers coming to town tomorrow. So first leg of back-to-back, 4th game in 6 nights. Not a spot, in my opinion, that I want to back the Celtics on the road. But I don't want the points with the Wizards either. If I had, proverbial gun to my head, I'm taking the Wizards, though. It is 3rd game in 4 nights for them. They're coming off a game where they got absolutely smoked in the last one. So, yeah, I thought, long and hard, trying to find a way to, get there and make a play in this game. But I'm not going to force anything in this one. This is Marvin Bagley, though. This is outlier, of course, as well. His rebound prop, you can see listed at 7.5. He's over in back-to-back games. If we go here, we hit this little toggle. We toggle this to games without player. We go to SAR, and we can see this season he's over in back-to-back games. All these games came from last season. So right at 8, the Celtics are not a great rebounding team. You can see that they're 14th overall, but they give up a ton of offensive rebounds. They're bottom 5 against the center position. They're also bottom 5. You can see that right here. So I consider Bagley. If Jaylen Brown does not play, I mean, you got to go, Derek White or Peyton Pritchard. I think either, over their points. And then if Jaylen Brown does play, I like the team total over for the Celtics in the first half. I do think that even if they're not locked in defensively, which I don't expect the best defensive game from them in this spot, especially with the Lakers tomorrow back at home, first leg of back-to-back, I still think that they'll be able to score the basketball. So I wrote in my notes yesterday before Jaylen Brown was on the injury report that Washington opponents are 6-2 to the over. If the Wizards are playing at home, they're 5-3 to the over in the first half as well. The last 10 games for the Wizards overall, opponents are 7-3 to the over in their team total. So that's a 70% hit rate. Washington is allowing the 3rd most points in the league at 126 per game. And they have the worst defensive rating at 123.9. So that's what I wrote in my notes. I'm not playing the game, but the bigger the line gets, the more appealing it is to take the Wizards. I'm not gonna lie, in my opinion, in this game. I didn't bet it though. Let's see. Yeah, that's a fact, man. That is a fact. All of a sudden, he got Cavs soreness, and that I wasn't betting Clipper game anyway. It seemed too easy, way too easy. And then Jalen Johnson doesn't play, and the Atlanta Hawks look like the Brooklyn Nets last night. What up, B-Hop? He says Raptors money line. Another insane night. Jekyll and Hyde Association. That's a fact. We call it J and H. The JAH that's it. Lowe says if we're following the script, the Wizards should cover the spread. I agree with that. Pick the Clippers money line as soon as I heard Jalen. That's a fact. Natalie says only a lean was his first half. I think the Celtics could smoke them in the first half. They typically play really good in the first half. They have a trouble closing games. They've been doing that well as well. All right, let's move over to the next game. Y'all let me spend that much time on this game. Next game up is the Warriors and the 76ers. So couple interesting things to note in this game. So we start with the injury report. Jimmy Butler is listed as questionable. Al Horford is also listed as questionable. Trace Jackson Davis is also listed as questionable. Porzingis is listed. Kuminga is listed as questionable. No Steph, of course. Steph is playing. And then you also got DeAnthony Melton coming back for the first time this season, playing against his old team, the Philadelphia 76ers, man. So the Warriors guard rotation is going to be crazy. You got DeAnthony Melton coming back. Of course, he's not going to play big minutes. You also got, Will Richard and Moses Moody, Pods, Brandon Podziemski, of course. Lot of guards in this game. This is the spot where you look at the 76ers, of course. Joel Embiid, like I said, listed as doubtful. Kelly Oubre continues to be out. Quentin Grimes is questionable. You need to know the status of these players. Paul George is, questionable as well. For the Golden State Warriors, they are playing their first leg. No, it's not first leg of back-to-back. They're going to be on the East Coast for a couple games in a row. 3 games, I think, all of them throughout the rest of this weekend. And then they go back home, I think. Yeah, I think that's what it was when I looked at it last night. And the reason why I mentioned that is because I did hear Draymond talk about it after the game, how he's going to miss the birth of his daughter for this game. He most likely will miss the birth of his daughter for this game. Unless he's needed, then he'll probably, he talked about going, catching a flight and going back. So I don't know how locked in he's going to be, like, bringing another child into the world. I think he got like 3 or 4 kids. Not that I'd be keeping up, but I know he got a son and a daughter and maybe another son. I don't know. But I think that's something to take into consideration when I'm trying to handicap the game. Like, don't want to lay points with the 76ers. Their defense, in my opinion, is not good enough. Don't really want the Warriors without Steph either. And then you got all these questionable players. Like, I think you just look at Maxey. I think you look at, somebody like Brandon Podziemski. But you need the injury report to clear up. So when it's 10 players on the injury report, like, I think you just skip the game. And this game got about 12 players on the injury report. So it is first leg of a back-to-back for the Philadelphia 76ers. They play tomorrow against Milwaukee. I think, Golden State offense played a lot better than they were supposed to in that last game. Maybe they could continue to keep scoring in this game. Total at 224.5. I lean over. That's what I would lean. Over 224, 223.5, whatever it is that you can get as far as the total goes. That would be my thought process in this game. We see points. Let's see. Brooklyn was good last night. Yeah, imagine that. Brooklyn being good back-to-back nights. We're going to talk about them in just a second. Justin says he bet the over at 223.5. I like it. The graphics are off. Appreciate you for shouting that out, Justin. 233.5 is non-existent. I was moving too fast. Open 221.5 is up to 225.5, all the way to 225.5 on BetMGM. So it really just depends on what number you're getting, but it's not 233.5. I'm in agreement with the books, though. Don't trust the Philadelphia 76ers defense, especially with them playing on the first leg of a back-to-back. Consensus total right now is 220. You still can get a 220. Looks like 224 is consensus. Okay, there we go. And this, that's why, because I never changed any of this. The Magic. Warriors are playing against the 76ers. There we go. Warriors versus 76ers line is 3.5. I wonder if I forgot to do this for all of them. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it was just that one. All right, so yeah, over. Over would be the play for me. Brian says Washington plus 90. Dirty dog today. Taking Jerry McCain threes every game. Okay. Drummond boards could definitely be a look. Lock. You need him to play though. And you need Embiid to be ruled out. But yeah, absolutely. That could be a look for today. Yeah, I like that. I might add this as well. I didn't bet it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you guys where you can get the best number at real quick if you're interested in playing it right now. And we'll get to the next game. 222.5 is available on FanDuel right now. Minus 114. I might play that after this game, after I finish the show. But I still, like I said, it's 10 people on the injury report, man. I just think it's going to be points. LJ says first quarter over is the play for the 76ers at home. I always talk about that. Me and LJ be aligned there for sure. Sixers score a lot in the first quarter. Their offense gets worse as the game goes on. What's up, dude? Since I took the Warriors money line in the over 223.5, I like it. Good morning, Greg. Appreciate you for tapping in as well. All right, let's push to the next game. We got the Lakers and the Raptors. So line opened at 4 yesterday. Toronto getting 4 points at the crib. Total was 231, and the total is now 227.5. It looks like on most books. 228.5. I'm sorry. There's a 227.5 on ESPN Bet though. So total coming down, money coming in on the Raptors. The big reason why, of course, is Luka is ruled out. It's personal reasons. Marcus Smart's also listed as out. Toronto will be without Jakob Poeltl, which in my opinion is humongous, and they will be without RJ Barrett. So the Raptors and the Lakers. I know Luka is out. Like, hear me out. Luka is out. I understand that. I just think that without Jakob Poeltl, the defense for the Raptors will take a little bit of a hit. We saw the Raptors really struggle in that last game that they played against the Portland Trailblazers. That game went over the total and they couldn't cover the spread. Now I know Luka's out. I know he's leading the league in scoring. I completely understand that. Bron can turn back the hand of time for one game, and then the Lakers probably get smoked. I think I like the Lakers tomorrow because it's a terrible spot for Boston tomorrow as well. We'll see what happens with Luka for tomorrow's game. But as far as this game goes, I still think the Lakers will be able to generate some offense in this game. 227.5, I think, is a little bit too low. If I'm betting this game, I think I like the over a little bit more than anything else. Lakers are playing first leg of back-to-back, like I just said, though. They got the Boston Celtics tomorrow. Toronto playing their second straight home game. They did win their last one, but they did not cover in that game. So I kind of think we haven't seen the Lakers without Luka and with LeBron this season. To me, that's the reason for me to just kind of relax and chill, stay off the game. This is 4th and 6 nights for the Raptors as well. And the Lakers are coming off that big loss against the Phoenix Suns, of course, in their most recent game. I feel like they've been doing well on the road. But like I said, again, that's with Luka in 12-7-1 against the spread. Raptors are 8-1 in the first half against the spread at home. We talked about that in the last game, and they did cover against the Portland Trailblazers in that one as well. Raptors are under team, but the Lakers are over team. I kind of think that this game should still go over the total. Don't expect the Lakers to play much defense on the first leg of a back-to-back. Lakers defense hasn't been great overall in general. They're 18th in defensive rating on the full season. And then maybe just take the Raptors team total over. Don't know if I want to get involved in this game, but the Lakers defense last 5 games is actually 25th. Can the Raptors score enough points? I kind of think so, man. Lakers opponents are 4-1 to their team total over. So maybe a Toronto team total over in this spot. Maybe that'll be what I would play if I'm getting involved in this game. Toronto team total is 114.5. They should be able to get 115 against the Lakers. That's my thought process. Oh yeah, I heard about this the other day. JaXon, I'm glad. I appreciate you for sharing that. So he may be back. He may not be back. We shall see. Luka, I think, is welcoming his second daughter into the world. I know he has a daughter already. I think he's welcoming his second daughter into the world. Shout out to Luka, man. Appreciate you. Okay, watch this. He says hit the like button. I'll take a second to do that if you can. Definitely helps. Scotty Barnes over his points, rebounds, and assists. I like it, LJ. I like that. He gonna Dylan Brooks the Lakers just like Dylan Brooks did in the last game, right? Who gonna go out there and want to be physical enough with him? Can see it. Smoke says I need Aiden to deliver. Aiden over his points and assists for Nayeli. Dude says Lakers might still go in there and win. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bet against the Lakers in this spot. Raptors without RJ Barrett have been a little suspect recently. I just think that it's more of an over game, even without Luka, because I still think Austin Reeves is going to be able to score the basketball. I still think LeBron, like, this is almost like giving the keys back to LeBron, saying, oh, okay, Brian, your turn to go run the offense without Luka. Let's see what you can do without Luka being out there. Can you still do it? And I'm of the mindset that he can. I know they got some pretty good defenders over there, but with subtracting RJ Barrett, who I think is a pretty good defender, you really just got Scotty Barnes over there. Brandon Ingram can't guard LeBron. If he get downhill, like, the Lakers can live in the paint in this game without Jakob Poeltl. So all that, I think, is over. Don't walk in traffic, my brother. Absolutely don't walk in traffic, man. Unless the walking sign is up. Yeah. Ingram revenge game. Ingram always plays. I feel like he plays pretty well. Jared said he'll lay the 2 with the Raptors. Yeah, everybody having kids today a lot. It must be that time of the year 9 months ago, you know? All right, let's move over to the next one. Jazz and Nets. Man, you talk about a terrible game. So it's a terrible spot for the Brooklyn Nets, but I can't lay points with the Utah Jazz on the road like that. It's the reason why they're laying points. The reason why they're laying points is because it's the 5th game in 7 night spots. I saw it last night, and I actually had this written down a couple days ago, but I still couldn't get there. It did open at 3.5, so the Utah Jazz of all teams are actually taking money in this spot. It's up to 4. It went up to 4, then 4.5, came back down to 4, and now it's back up to 4.5. The total hasn't really moved a lot. I did see it go down a little bit to 231. It looks like it's back up to 232, 232.5. So we look at the injury report for the Utah Jazz. They will be without Kevin Love, the rest of him. Nurkic is also listed as questionable. And then on the Brooklyn side of things, Trey Mann is listed as out. Cam Thomas is still out. They can submit their injury report late because they did play last night in Chicago. They won that game. So like I said, it's a terrible spot for Brooklyn. Second leg of back-to-back with travel from Chicago. They won the game last night. They don't want to win too many games. They won a couple games now because they just beat Charlotte as well. Third game in 4 nights. Fourth game in 6 nights. Fifth game in 7 nights. And for the Utah Jazz, I don't want them either because they just came off a win too. They just beat Houston outright as a double-digit home dog in their most recent game. It is the first leg of a back-to-back for them as well. They should be the right side. I can't lay points with the Jazz on the road. That's just not something I like to do with my money. Brooklyn does suck, but the Jazz are 0-1 as a road favorite. 0-4 on the first leg of a back-to-back. Like, not for my money. The defense is just not good enough for me to want to lay multiple possessions with them on the road. And they also get stifled on the road. Remember, their offense is good at home. On the road, it's terrible. They're the 29th offensive rated team on the road, and the 26th rated defensive team on the road. They got a negative 16 point differential when they play on the road. So I'm just go to props, right? And that's what I did. I played Keontae George over his 6.5 assists. It is juice minus like 143, which I typically don't lay, but that's what I played in this one. Dude averages right at 7 assists per game. Now he gets a Nets team that's playing 5th game in 7 nights, like I said, with travel, that allows the 6th most assists. And I looked at Keontae George. When he averages right at 12 assists per game. When he has 12 potential assists. He averages right at 12 potential assists. When he in games where he's gotten to at least 12 potential assists or more this season versus teams that are bottom half in the league in assists allowed, he's over in 4 of his 6 games. So not a huge sample size, but that is 67%. And he's getting right at 8 per game. So I do think that that's a really great look. I did play that to win a unit earlier this morning. It was like, it's kind of no brainer at this point. We just cashed on LaMelo over his assists a couple games ago against the Nets. We just cashed last night with Josh Giddey over his assists against the Nets. And yes, it's an even terrible spot. So Louis Markkanen should be able to do his thing. On the opposite side, I'm guessing he probably finished over his points, but I did see Michael Porter Jr. had 14 in the first quarter against Chicago. He gets another very soft defense in this spot, so maybe he can continue to keep it going, especially without Cam Thomas. I feel like his usage has to be through the roof, so maybe a look towards Michael Porter Jr. as well. The other thing about Michael Porter Jr. is I don't really like playing on players on 5th game in 7 nights. But Michael Porter Jr. missed one of those games. Remember, he missed one of those games. I think it was the game before Charlotte. He didn't play in that one. I think it was against the Knicks. He didn't play in that one. So just take all that and do whatever it is that you wish. But yeah, I did bet Keontae George over in this spot. Brian says Reeves assists, Lakers bounce back. Kind of a homer look. Toronto this year been hooping though. They have been. I think you can though, Jay. I kind of feel like you can take Michael Porter Jr. Points. Matter of fact, let's go look into it real quick. I mean, sometimes the stars just align. I don't even feel like I need to go look at anything. I just feel like, you know what? 25.5 is too low for Michael Porter Jr. He had 35 against Charlotte, 33 against Chicago. I know his second leg of back-to-back, but like I said, he hasn't played in all of these games. He played in the last 2, so this is just 3rd game in 4 nights for him. He hadn't played since the 24th of November. So, and that was the game against the Knicks. So yeah, I don't think he's rested enough in my opinion. And I just feel like his usage is going to be high enough to be able to go out there and, do what he need to do over his last 5 games. Matter of fact, let's go all of them. Let's look at him without Cam Thomas this season against bottom 5 defenses. So without Cam Thomas this season, he's averaging 27.2 points, which is above the 25 number. He's over in back-to-back games. If we add that the opponent defensive rating is in the bottom half of the league, he's over in 4 of his 5 games, averaging 32 points. He dropped 34 against the Wizards. He had 25 against the Celtics, the only time he stayed under. 33 against the Celtics at home. 35 against Charlotte, and 33 against the Bulls last night. So no Cam Thomas against defenses that are bottom half of the league, dude's averaging 32 points. For me, I'm not betting on Utah to stop anybody. That's just the way I see Utah Jazz. Let's see. I took the Jazz money line, Laurie over his points. I can understand that. Jazz plus 4.5 is where you would love for the Jazz to be on the road. Absolutely. All right, let's keep going. I did bet this one though, just to play a prop. All right, let's go. Timberwolves and Pelicans. I actually gonna make a play in this game too. I didn't play it yet, but I do like something in this game. So we look at the injury report for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Nobody is on it. For the Pelicans, Herb Jones, Misi, DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, Jordan Poole all continue to be out. McGowan's played pretty tough against Anthony Edwards in their last game. Jeremiah Fears, like Trey Murphy. This team actually balled out. They had the lead against the Minnesota Timberwolves up until overtime happened. And then overtime happened, and they just really turned up. The Pelicans couldn't stop turning the ball over. And I expect them to turn the ball over again in this game as well. Couple things I considered. First was Rudy Gobert over his points plus rebounds. I can't remember exactly what the line was, but it was too low in my opinion. It was like 23, 24 and a half, something like that. He just dominated this team. I think he had like 26 points in the last game. They just don't have a lot of rim protection. Derek Queen is like, he's not the biggest guy. And for that reason that they don't have a lot of rim protection, I'm playing Anthony Edwards over his points. 29 and a half is the number. After the game, last game, Ant said, I should have had 50. I said, oh, okay, Ant. The other thing I looked at was, it's a couple things, right? So there's like, when you're a young superstar that's supposed to be like the leader of your team, you got to find ways against non-competitive teams to, like to make it interesting, right? And I think for Ant, he talked about this before the season started, really wanting to go out and ball against these, really weak teams. So I think, the conjunction of like him saying he should have had 50, playing against a poor team, like trying to find ways to, keep the game, stay motivated in those spots. The Pelicans really lacking rim protection. They have nobody that Ant can literally dunk on anybody on this team, get downhill. And he did it a lot in the fourth quarter and in overtime. Jose Alvarado is way too small, but he's a really good defender. Here's the other thing, and this was the cherry on top. So Ant scored 30 plus in 6 straight games going into tonight's game. That actually ties the Minnesota franchise record with Kevin Love. So he had 44 in the last game. He did roll. I think he had some knee-to-knee contact. He got up. He was fine. He played the rest of the game. I'm not expecting him to miss this one. Ant has a chance to get, to break the record for the Minnesota Timberwolves. To me, that's enough to bet on them. The Pelicans are third worst in defense against above the break three. Ant gets like damn near 50% of his points. He gets 44% of his points from the above the break three. They also rank bottom 10 in points in the paint. And I just talked about, liking Rudy Gobert, but Ant gets another 30% of his points from there. So I do like Anthony Edwards to score 30 in this game tonight. I think the odds is minus 104 on FanDuel. I didn't lock it in yet, but I was looking at that literally right before I started the show. So that's the look, in my opinion, for this game. I do think Rudy Gobert is live to, have another big game. On the Pelican side of things, you're probably going to be able to find some value. Even though the Timberwolves said, like after the game, Anthony Edwards said, you really can't come out and play like that and blah, 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 blah. They were losing to the Pelicans by 10 at one point. Just defensively, just took the whole night off. I still think that they can come out and play with their food. I'm not laying this big of a number with them, but it wouldn't surprise me if they jumped on the Pelicans early in the spot. And we just saw a little bit of the reverse to not put themselves in a position where they're going to overtime. So that's my thought process on this game, man. I'm playing Ant over his points. I just didn't play it yet, but that'll be the thing that I play in this game. It is 4th and 6 for the Pelicans. It is 4th and 6 for the Timberwolves as well. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys in this one. Any thoughts on this one? What is up, AOD? Appreciate you for tapping in, my brother. Scotty Barnes double plus 220. Darius says. Prolific says you gotta give them per them NBA players whatever. Trey Murphy had 15 boards last game. Yeah, he was hooping a lot. He had 30 something points in that game as well. So I did see that in the last one. So quick recap, and we'll get out of here. For me, Keontae George, I did play him over 6.5 assists. I do think Boston, Washington, you gotta wait, in my opinion. You gotta wait on the Jaylen Brown news. Don't really like the Wizards without Sarr, without Bilal, because to me that's all the defense. But I'm not taking the Celtics, in this spot. 4th and 6 on the road, coming off back-to-back wins as a dog. Look ahead spot to the Lakers tomorrow on national TV at home. Nah, it'd be Wizards plus the points if I had to play the side. But like I said, wait on Jaylen Brown. Golden State Philly, it'd be over for me. Didn't bet it, but over 222.5. I told you guys that at the top of the show when we were talking about that. I think it was available on FanDuel is what we said. And then Lakers Toronto, I also think that game goes over too. I'm not gonna add it here, but I think the Lakers and Toronto goes over the number just because I think it'll be fast paced. Utah and Brooklyn. Michael Porter Jr. over his 25.5 points. Didn't bet it, but Keontae George over his 6.5 assists. I did bet. And Minnesota and New Orleans. And over his 29.5, lean to Rudy Gobert over his points plus rebounds in this spot as well, man. Best of luck on your action. If you enjoyed the show, all the analysis, do me a favor, hit the like button, share the show, put it in the group chat, man. And check the resources out. They're all linked in the description. Best of luck on your action for today. I will catch you guys. It's diabolical. 80 deep. We got 25 likes. People just out here snoozing, man. It's cool, though. Resources linked in the description of the video. Check them out. Catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.